What's up, everybody? Episode 9, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and piggyback off of episode 8. Episode 8, we talked about getting the wheel arch centered, getting a rough estimate of where the center of the wheel arch is, and then I took the time after that video to cut out the door jamb, get the wheel at what I believe is going to be ground height, and talk about some of the measurements and stuff that I took to figure that out. So I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of how I got the wheel and what I'm calling the final wheel placement. I'm happy where it's at. I think this is going to be a good spot. And as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm actually going to build a little jig out of some 3/4 inch thin wall tubing to hold the wheels on both sides in the same exact spot, so that I can just set them there, get them exactly where I want in and out, and then take a hub to hub measurement so that I can get the rear end, the 488 rear end, get that thing cleaned up and cut apart, because that'll be some exciting footage to get going on. Cleaning up all the brackets on it, cleaning up the tubes, getting it cut apart. It's going to be a gross mess because it is rusted from side to side, but I think it'll look really good when I'm done, and it should be a badass rear end. So what we did, I did a few things. Before we put the wheel in there, it was exactly how it was in the last video. Still the same plumb bob, giving us an estimate of the center. Where the right angle was, you know, I had that 90-degree right angle. I just cut myself a groove in the frame that signifies the same center that the plumb bob's sitting on, okay? Then what we did is I went and got some, I believe they call it cork, like actual like cork board. This is like the stuff that you use for the back of like picture frames and stuff, like in the back of a picture frame, like the white border, the real thick stuff. I wanted something thick to make the wheel tub templates out of. That way I could handle them and they don't get bent up or messed up too much. So we went on center. We probably should have used some kind of straight edge, some kind of metal straight edge with holes in it to get a really nice, perfect circle. But we ended up using like a bolt and some string and a marker on the string. So 17 from this center to this center. Or I'm sorry, 17 from here to here, 17 from here to here. And then this side, I must have loosened up on my string tension. I only got 16 and 7/8. So basically this half of the wheel arch is perfect because it's a 34-inch diameter, 28-inch tire, 6 inches should be enough. So this one's a little short. So somewhere in this side over here is a little short, but for what I'm going to use this particular one for, that's fine. I should only need 90 degrees anyways. So then what we did is I marked a little black line right there signifying the edge of the wheel well, and I marked it on the string itself. Then we did some math to figure out where this should be, okay? So we still had the straight edge coming out here. And what I was able to do is I measured from where the number 1 bar, the bar that's going to go from side to side, I measured from where that number 1 bar was, the bottom of the bar should be, to here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and redraw these measurements so you can see what I'm doing here. So we're going to call this the number 1 bar. Now from the bottom of that bar to the ground is 4.5 inches plus or minus 1 inch. To my jig, was 9 inches. All right. Now, I know that this is our ground level. Okay. So my tire is going to sit on that ground level. I know that approximately with the way the air pressure's in it, basically you put a level on top of the tire and get it level, and then you measure from the level to the ground. Was about 29 inches with the tire pressure and no weight on it. Okay, so half of that is going to be 14.5 inches. So the center to the ground should be 14.5 inches. Okay, so with these measurements, I know that from the jig to the ground, 9 inches minus 4.5 should be 3.5 inches. No, sorry, 4.5 inches. My bad. 4.5 inches. I'm tired. So from the jig up should be 4.5 inches, and that's your ground. From the ground to the center of the wheel is 14 point. So I can say from here, the jig to center of the wheel should be 14.5 plus 4.5, and that is 19 inches. Okay, so with this right angle coming out, I measured from that surface 19 inches up, boom, the center of the wheel. Okay, now that we know where the center of the wheel is, we measure another 14.5 up. All right, that's the top of the tire, somewhere in here. Then it's a 34-inch wheel tub, right? So from the center of the tire to the top of the wheel tub is 17 inches. All right, so that was right about this area here. Okay, so from the top of that tape to the top of that line is 17 inches. So now I know my wheel tub is going to be right there. All right, so center line this way, the top of the tub there. So then I can draw a radius coming out this way and figure out exactly where I need to cut. Not exactly, but got us a rough estimate, okay? Because then we know 17 from there to there, and then from that point to 17 this direction. So using a level, we kind of made some marks. You know, using a level off of this, we made some marks over here. And then this one up here, we used the template. So we kind of just held it like that, lined it up with the string. I had a buddy helping me. So lined it up with the height, lined it up with the string, and then came over here and said, okay, if we cut below what we think it is, that'll be plenty. And that's exactly what we did, is we eyeballed it and then cut below that eyeball. I hope that kind of explains how we got those measurements and how I was able to figure out where to cut that door jamb. All right. And then I need this measurement here is literally me guessing and almost hoping, because at the end of the day, we have to be able to unbolt the wheel and get it off the studs and get it to drop down and out. Now, chances are we'll have to unbolt the shocks and let the axle droop. Most drag cars with big tires that are tucked way up is a totally normal thing. Guys air them down. They'll pull the valve stems, air them down, get them to deflate, pull the shocks to get them out. It's a pain, but to keep the car low and looking good with a big tire is just kind of part of the job. So I'm giving myself a few inches here. These sidewalls, you know, the tire can, when the tire goes into shake, it can move quite a bit here, but I can't imagine it being more than 1.5 inches needed. So really, I'll probably end up with about 2 inches. Down below, you got a little bit more. You know, when you're looking at it like this, you can see there's quite a bit of room all the way around. But really, it's a matter of like, it looking good too, because like you want it kind of flush to look good, and then you also got to tuck it in so that you can get it on and off, and then if it goes into tire shake, it doesn't whack the rear cord or anything. So it's kind of a mixture of both to get that in that position. Now that I got it in the position I want, I got it centered, I got it at ground height, I will make a jig, basically a square that the tire sits in, and then weld the jig or clamp the jig, the tire jig, to the chassis jig. All right, and once I get that where I'm happy, I'll be able to move it, I'll be able to twist it, I'll make it in such a way that I can actually lift it up a little bit. It won't be able to go down any lower because of the way I have to make it, but I could go up possibly a little, move it if I need to. And I think that's really about it for this episode. It's just going to be talking about tire final placement. All right. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I know I got a bunch of new followers, and thank you. If you're watching this for the first time, please subscribe. Check out the other videos. Hopefully I'll have more engine build stuff too if you're following that series. Yeah, have a good night, guys. Thank you.